We are back in Texas. Texas, I'm so excited. We left California 2 days ago. We are now back in Texas. And guess what? I'm actually only a couple hours away from my boy, Podcast Dave. My man, how was your Christmas, Podcast Dave?
Yeah, it was good, man. I mean, it's pretty standard, to be honest, at this point. Boys love it. They just love opening their gifts. Paisley's obviously a new addition, so she doesn't quite get it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, good, man. How's yours?
All the lights, all the noise, all the paper wrapping and tearing. And
Oh, yeah.
it's funny because I had a buddy who was talking to me about how like him and his wife buy their kids and like all their cousins, they buy them like nice stuff. They spend probably like $100 on each person and each one of the kids. Adults don't really get gifts, but there's one uncle who he's just the guy that goes to like the dollar store, spends like $20 on each kid. And next thing you know, that's like the coolest uncle because he got him a bunch of just junk. And that's kind of what you go through, right? It's that people we've started now just buying an excessiveness, and it doesn't really mean anything because like within like let's just say a day or two or 24 hours or even like 2 or 3 days, it's pretty much irrelevant. The kids don't really play with it anymore and they're just on to the next thing. Do you get that vibe at all with your kids?
Yeah, totally. I was talking to somebody the other day, and he was saying that they get like 8 or 9 gifts for the kids, and the dad was kind of like, I don't know why we do so many. He's like, because when I grew up, it was one from parents, one from Santa.
Yeah.
So it was weird to like be in a situation where we're buying 9 gifts. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But anyway, so my buddy was like, yeah, so my 2-year-old was opened his first gift. It was a Spider-Man thing. He was super excited, and then just wanted to sit and play with that. He's like, he didn't give a crap about the rest of the gifts.
Yeah.
He's like, but then there's this process that you're expected to go through. Where it's like, no, we gotta like you open one and you open one. But it's like if he just wants to play with a Spider-Man gift, let's let him play with a Spider-Man gift.
Yeah, what was crazy is even this year we still haven't opened up the gifts that like people have gotten yet because we just got back home. We had gifts shipped here.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even from the time my son was young, my son's 11 years old, is that we sometimes would leave because people would send gifts. My mom, my in-laws, my sister-in-laws, my whatever family would send gifts. They would sit under the tree until like the middle of January because the kids were just, they open up the one thing and they're like, okay, they play with that for a while. Then they'd open another one, in like 2 weeks. And just, I don't know what it was, but like my kids have never really got into like this whole, like just tear things open and get things. It's very, very strange. Even like my in-laws, they don't really do that. We buy gifts for the kids, but it's normally just like, 2 or 3 things, like things that they really want. And you say, hey, put us together a list. We got tired of doing the whole, just buy them whatever. Like say, hey, give me a list of like something you would want. Like the parents would, tell them, hey, sit down and write out a list. That Christmas list really does help. Because then whoever wants to buy them a gift, they get the one gift that they want or the 2 gifts that they want. And then you move on, and just say, make the best of it until next year, man. Christmas has been one of those, like, it's just been over marketed throughout our country for the longest time. For me, it's always been about just spending more time with family, eating a ton of food. I mean, now watching some football. Before it used to just be basketball on Christmas Day. Thanksgiving was always football. I mean, they've kind of now brought more sports into the holidays, and I like that a lot. So it helps because you get all the family together. You're out barbecuing. You're all having drinks. Everyone's hanging out, and it's kind of like the way that I like it. But Dave, you and I talked about this off air. Probably a couple days ago. I said, man, maybe next year I think we're just gonna stay home. Maybe we get the families together. We do a little Christmas morning somewhere. Either you come to my house or I go to yours. We just kind of hang out with the kids, let the kids have fun together.
Totally, man.
Something chill. Your family's not around. My family's not around. My wife's family's not around. Your wife's family's not around. Like, might as well get the kids together. They can at least have fun all day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we'll get lucky and it snows. And just send them outside.
Maybe we'll get lucky and it won't snow.
Yeah. I love the snow, man. I think it's great. Oh, you don't like it?
No, I'm not a snow guy.
No, you're not. Oh, that's
hilarious. I love Cali. I love Cali for that reason. I love it here for that reason. But it does get cold here. It's like a bone chilling cold like here where I went for a run this morning, man, and just you walk outside, just the tightness of your body, man, just like
the tightness of your body, man. What it was is, what's funny is while I was in California, it was raining. It was like in the mid 50s. Since I've been like while we were gone up here in Dallas, it was like in the 70s, in the high 70s.
Yep.
So I'm just like, come on, man. This is then we come back and today was what? Today's like in the 50s, in the high 40s, low
Yeah.
50s.
Supposed to
I'm like,
be
damn,
back in the 80s by Saturday.
nice. I'll
So
take
I'm
it.
looking forward to that. Yeah.
I'll take it, man. Look, we had a very mild summer this year. I mean, to be honest, we had like 10, 11 days, 10, 12 days of over 100 degrees, but it wasn't like 112, 114 like we've seen the last 3 years. But this year was not bad, man. I was very happy with this summer. It was pretty nice. And then hopefully the winter's mild and we get to have a good time, get back into spring right away, man. So for me, I always get concerned because we have a pool. And you just see everyone taking these precautions so their pipes don't break on their pool and you don't have any problems with your pool. And when I was gone, we were gone for 3 weeks. When being gone for 3 weeks, you start wondering, man, hopefully it's not too cold. Checking the weather was 78, 79. One day it was 81. I'm like, oh, we're good. We're good, man. This is great. Hey, guys, obviously you guys know the news is a little light, but we did have some really tragic news with Anthony Joshua that popped off. I believe it was yesterday. I was driving back from California, 24-hour drive, turned into 30 when the kids have to stop and use the restroom, and you got to let your dog out to go to the bathroom. But overall, not a lot of news outside of that, but it's tragic news with Anthony Joshua losing 2 of his friends. For him, being very blessed that he was in the back seat. And I got to be honest, man, this is what went through my mind right away when I found out he was in the back seat. I'm a smaller guy. I'm 5'10", maybe 175 pounds. Right now, I'm probably 178 because I'm fat. I got like the full dad bod going on after holidays. But I always say, hey, like if you're a bigger guy than me, I'll say, hey, why don't you sit in front? And it just went through my mind. This guy's probably the biggest guy out of his 2 buddies. Don't get me wrong, his other 2 buddies looked like they were pretty fit, but he was close friends with them. And he, as a former champion, and obviously just fought Jake Paul. All of this going on, he sat in the back seat, which I think saved his life. 100%, I believe it saved his life. And it's just very unfortunate. He lost 2 of his closest friends. One was a training. I believe both of them were kind of semi-training partners / workout partners. And I don't know Anthony Joshua. I've only seen him in passing one time. Didn't talk to him. Don't know him at all. But it's very scary to think that you cheated death that close. And I just want to say, man, I'm so sorry for your loss, your 2 friends. And this is very unfortunate, man. I believe he was in Nigeria. Is this correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I was in Nigeria. And just this horrible, horrible news. Horrible news. But I'm gonna switch gears a little bit on this same story though. And there was a video that was put out by none other than, and I'm a fan, and that's the sad part about this is that I'm a fan, is our boy Bryce Mitchell. And I've said before that I'm going to keep these things positive on this channel. Big John has gone away and he went off to reffing. He's back in the reffing world. And John and I sometimes tend to get a little hardcore on the aggressiveness in terms of pointing out the negative stuff. Like, hey, it could be this, it could be that. But bottom line is, in this type of situation, when somebody loses 2 friends, I'm going to try, especially right now during the holidays, I'm going to try to keep it as positive as I possibly can. I like Bryce Mitchell as a fighter. I've liked some of the past stuff that he's done. I also disagree with a lot of the past stuff that he's done, a lot of it. But bottom line is, let's wait for the dust to settle, man, before we go putting out videos like this. The sad part is if you can see what he's pulled up here, is there's 7.1 million views on this video. Now, I can't tell you whether Bryce is doing this for clickbait. I can't tell you whether Bryce is doing this, for for likes. I don't know Bryce that way. But in a very unfortunate way, it's brought a negative light on this whole situation. And can you go ahead? Can you play the video for me?
If you don't let him win.
So he is suggesting within 12 seconds.
Jake Paul win, he's going to kill you 9 days later, or just kill your 2 best friends. But somebody's going to die if you don't let him win.
This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, man. This has nothing to do with Jake Paul. I mean, unless we find out something otherwise. But let's be honest. This is just a video that should have not been released. It's a video that, Anthony Joshua's going through it right now. Lost 2 of his friends. He's going through probably a lot of pain right now. I saw some of the videos of him being pulled from the car. And a big guy like him. Wincing, cringing, like all of these things is something that I'm just like, man, in my life, I'm thinking to myself, why would you put out a video like this stating something like this other than likes and clicks? So it's very unfortunate. Like, I'm a big Bryce Mitchell fan. I like the style in which he fights. People don't like it sometimes. I don't mind him. I think that, you know, you need some of those guys that are a little outspoken every once in a while. They'll speak up, say their thing. But this was a situation that didn't need to be said. Let the dust settle before you come off. And if there's any other news that comes out also, man, go ahead and speak on that. But yeah, I just don't think that this needed to be done. And Bryce, man, as much, I don't know you. You know, we've never hung out. We've never got a beer together. We've never done anything together. I don't know you. But these are one of those moments where sometimes you let the dust settle. You let it settle, and then you come back and visit it when something else comes out, when there's more information that comes out. So Anthony Joshua just lost 2 good friends. Let's let it marinate a little bit. Let him get through his life and how he's gonna adjust and adapt, and the information gets released for us before we go commenting on things like, or making videos like this. We've gotten too much into the negativity cells, and it's very frustrating. Dave, you should probably click the camera on so we can see you popping your pimple in the middle of this.
I'm not popping a pimple. I'm just scratching my eyebrow because I got a little cut up there from the kids.
No, you gotcha, huh? Gotcha.
You got
but
me.
This to me is something that didn't need to be said, man, and it's very unfortunate. So I hope. I don't know. I would like to say he comes out and he corrects, like, hey, I shouldn't have done it. But to be honest, the damage is already done. I think he needs to just move on. You know, I don't know if there's anything that can be said. It's sad because he's taken this approach and he's taken so much heat for several videos that he's done just probably in the last year. It just feels like, man, sometimes you need to, and don't get me wrong, I've been in some of these situations, not as bad as him, but just sometimes maybe like take the mic away a little bit. Like, just go, hey, like, let's keep this mic away a little bit. Let's take your phone away from you for a second and not let it marinate. All right. What else you got for me there, buddy?
All right, let's we can hop into this announcement that came in the last couple of days here. Henry Cejudo going to RIF.
Yeah, so Henry Cejudo he announces his UFC retirement, you know, being a former Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, and then goes on to become a 2-division champion, double gold. Then he calls himself the Triple C. A little cringe sometimes, but to be honest, Triple C, man, he's the triple champ. So Olympic gold medalist makes you a champion and a 2-division champion, 125 and 135 in the UFC. He announced that he has signed and he's booking a fight with Roth Wrestling and Real American Wrestling. So I'm excited for this. There's a lot of talk that it's going to end up being Clay Guida. That'd be kind of a fun match. I'd love to see him do something with, you know, against maybe like an Aaron Pico. That'd be fun as well. You know, Aaron never wrestled in the Olympics, but he was this close to, you know, making his way to the Olympics, losing in the finals of the qualifying, and just wasn't able to get there. But that would be fun. Aaron's obviously 10 years younger. I think probably 10, maybe 9 years younger than Henry Cejudo. But that would be a fun matchup. But the Clay Guida fight, or the Clay Guida matchup, I'm looking forward to that. I like that Henry's willing to do this. And if you guys haven't checked out my interview with Dan Cormier, Daniel and I sat down and we talked about guys making this jump over to wrestling. And Dan was like, man, I hate it, man. I hate when the guys leave the MMA guys decide to go box. They decide to go wrestle. And he used Bilal Muhammad as an example. Like, Bilal goes out there and wrestles David Carr. David Carr's he's an animal on the mat. An absolute animal. You know, and then, you know, he ends up, you know, Bilal ends up getting teched, I believe 10-0, and they move on. And I asked DC, I said, would you wrestle? He's like, I asked him to say, will we see you in there? He's like, where, fighting? I'm like, no. I know Roth Wrestling. He's like, you know, I'd wrestle someone like John Jones. I'm like, what about Yoel Romero? He's like, bro, not even close. Not even close. You keep me away from that guy. He just wrestled Pat Downey. He was on the US, on the Olympics, or not the Olympic team, but the world team. Absolutely not. He's like, no way. That dude still looks like he can wrestle. He's so phenomenal. Like, he never stopped wrestling. But Henry Cejudo comes from a wrestling background. And I'm excited for him to make this little change from fighting into wrestling. He still has that itch, I believe. He still has that, you know, and that's what Randy Couture talked about. You want to scratch that competitive itch. And I think this does it for him. You know, and you take something that you were the best at. You were the best wrestler in the world at one point in your life. and he's got an Olympic gold medal to prove it. I'm excited to watch him fight. I'm excited to watch him wrestle. I don't know who it'll be. It sounds like it might be Clay Guida. Clay's a little bit bigger than him. But I think obviously in the wrestling category, Henry's, levels above him. And as Clay gets older and slows down, as the damage he's taken over his career, and the same thing with Henry, I'm excited to see this though. I'm excited to see who they end up matching him up against. It will be, I think, that one of the featured fights, or keep saying fights, one of the featured matches under the Colby Covington and Luke Rockhold match. And that was another matchup that I talked to Daniel Cormier on. So if you haven't seen that interview, check it out. It's right below. And we talked a lot about a bunch of different things. But I said, hey, our boy Luke, he's wrestling Podcast Dave's boy, Colby Covington. And sure enough, he's like, bro, that's just a bad matchup. Bad matchup. He's like, Colby can wrestle. That guy can grind. He can wrestle. He's like, he doesn't see Luke winning that. He thinks Luke gets teched. He's just like, yeah, I don't. He's like, look, Luke's an athlete. Luke has a little bit of wrestling. He's like, but no. I'm like, really? Even the size? He's like, no, nah. He's like, I don't think Luke. I think Luke gets teched. I'm like, wow. It shocked me. It did. I was expecting to be like, oh no, Luke's got a chance. Because DC can homer for his boys when he wants to. But in this situation, there was no homering going on. So I don't know where he came on that, and I don't know how that all came about, but in terms of him talking about like, hey, Colby's gonna walk right through him. Henry's one of those guys that I'm looking forward to see making the transition into these type of things. In the wrestling, Colby Covington's doing it now. Luke Rockhold's doing it now. There's guys, there's money out there. I don't know if they're getting rich, but they're having fun doing something where you're not getting punched in the face. I love this. I love these matchups. I love being able to watch these guys do something competitive afterwards. I don't have that same feeling that not Luke Rockhold, but DC has. They're like, oh, I hate that these guys are, doing the wrestling. I hate that these guys are doing the boxing. I understand the boxing aspect of it because it's guys that were MMA or like they were former wrestlers. You got the, Ben Askren fighting Jake Paul. You've got, Tyron Woodley, who's predominantly wrestling, same like Ben was, fighting Jake Paul. And it just doesn't make any sense. Like, you were never a great striker, and it just didn't make any sense for you to go and fight someone who's only been training boxing. And, obviously you guys gave up size to fight Jake Paul. But in this situation, guys like Henry come from a wrestling background. This is a good transition for him. I don't think we'll see Henry doing boxing matches against Devontae Davis. I don't think we'll see Henry doing boxing matches against Adrian Broner. I don't think we're going to see any of that type of stuff. I think Henry's going to stay in his lane. And I think Henry's got too much pride. I think he's got way too much pride to allow himself to go out there and box against somebody who is just training nothing but boxing in like a world-class fight. And I know money talks, but in this situation, I love that Roth Wrestling is around, and this gives these guys an avenue to go ahead and challenge themselves and kind of see where they're at. David Carr made it look easy against Bilal Muhammad. Bilal's a stud, man. Bilal's tough. But when you're just talking about wrestling, it's a whole new world that's opening up for these guys. So, hey, guys, if you guys have any questions, man, I'm following the chat as well. I know Podcast Dave is also. Drop us some questions and let us know. Like I said, news is a little bit light. So we're going to do the best we can to get you guys a show before New Year's Eve. And, and move on to 2026, man. We're almost there. 2026. Let's get the party started. What else you got for me there, Dave?
Excuse me. The next one here, Michael Venom Page talking about how the UFC matchmaking doesn't make any sense. He's not getting fights that he wants.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Okay, let me give you my insight on this, and this comes from personal experience. Is that I took it two ways. That when they didn't match me up after I lost to Bobby Green, when they didn't match me up, I thought, okay, I'm on my last fight of my contract. They're going to try and drag me out as long as they possibly can because, they were trying to re-sign me. They said, hey, we want to get this contract done before your last fight. And I was like, well, I want a little bit more money. Like, let's talk about that. And then they were kind of like, no, this is kind of where we're at. And then I was hoping, all right, well, I'm going to fight my last fight. And if I win, then, we'll go ahead and see what the numbers look like after that. And I ended up losing that fight. So it didn't matter. But I gambled on myself. I don't know what his contract situation is, but I also looked at it another way, is that at the time I was 37 years old, I believe, when I was trying to re-sign with them. And I knew whatever contract I signed at that moment was going to be the last contract that I ever signed in my fighting career. He's at that stage now. So they are either trying to get him to re-sign so that he finishes his career there, and they, and they can, basically know that he's not going to go somewhere else and try and make, and basically make their product look bad because they've had him now for about 3 or 4 fights, I believe. So they're trying to get him to re-sign like a little bit longer of a contract before they give him a fight. That might be one. 2 is, because right now it's all speculation on my side. I'm speaking strictly from my personal experience and where he's at. It might be that he's older and they're just like, okay, well, what guy can we give him? And the longer we make him sit, that we can try to build him off of. We can try to build a younger guy that he fights. And who can we give him? The problem is, though, is that Michael Venom Page isn't a traditional MMA guy. So no matter who they give him, that guy's in for a tough fight. It's no different than Stephen Thomson right now. You give him something like, you give Stephen Thomson somebody, that guy's going to have his hands full no matter who he fights, because that Stephen Thompson's so difficult to deal with. And Michael Venom Page is just like that stylistically. Fast, elusive, stays long, hides his kicks really, really well behind his punches, hides his punches behind his kicks. It's just so difficult to deal with. And the UFC is thinking, okay, now who do we give him? What young guy can we kind of give him that we kind of want to build up, but we also don't want to lose if he ends up losing badly to him? Because your stock could drop on a guy pretty quickly if you lose to a 38-year-old guy that is mainly a striker, and you can't take him down, or you can't hold him down, you can't submit him, and and you're a young kid at 26, 27, or 31, somewhere around there, and they have high expectations for you. Those are all things that go through Hunter Campbell and Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby's head. Like, who do we give him that we can build on? And so I think that's kind of where they're at right now. He's such a stylistical nightmare for all of these young guys. Who do we give him? Like, if you guys are in the comments, man, pop somebody off. Tell me who you would give MVP that you're trying to build. It's a hard fight. And he's saying that I'll even fight at welterweight. But there was a fight that I kind of liked. How about Joel Alvarez? That's a good fight. Joel Alvarez, tall, long, lanky, good striker. But the problem is, look, anytime you put another striker against him, he just seems to be faster, longer. He's seen it all when it comes to the striking world. That MVP tends to have a better outcome on that. And he can also make it a boring fight. He can make it an exciting fight, depending on how he fights you. So it's a very tough decision for the UFC to be in. Who do we match him up against? Who do we match him up against?
What about like Calbarao? I know he just got a fight, right? But like, I think, is he fighting the Redder actually? I feel like that was one of the ones, but I feel like that would be a good fight for him. Let's see what they're saying. MVP kills all the upcoming strikers. Jalen Turner is one that somebody said. He's not ranked though. MVP is at least number 10.
Yeah, but see, where is he ranked? Is he ranked in the welterweight, or is he ranked in
middleweight?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. He's asking for middleweight or welterweight fights now.
Yeah.
So I think right now he's like, I'll take anybody.
I mean, do you do the Leo Edwards fight? Are they teammates? I don't know. Because I feel like that'd be a good one.
No, they're not teammates. They actually, the two camps don't really like each other.
Okay, so you got a fight of number 9, number 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like.
I mean, Leon just got knocked out pretty bad, so he probably is out for a bit, at least probably 5 to 6 months.
Usman's looking for a fight, right? Usman's number 8.
Usman.
Kamaru Usman.
Oh, come on. No, he's only saying he's taking title fights, and from what I understand, they're trying to get that deal locked down. It'll be Islam and Kamaru Usman, it sounds like.
So then is it the UFC's fault he's not getting the fights? Like,
yeah, they're saying that there's no one available.
I mean, you just literally proved that. My point right now.
Oh, I mean, like, look,
their point.
Could you go ahead? Can you let me see? Can you make that bigger? Because I can't really see it.
Yeah, let's see. So
I would keep him in the 100. I would keep him in the 185-pound division. Why are we not trying to give him somebody like a Robert Whittaker? Let's give him somebody like a Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier is 41 years old, I believe.
He fought Jared.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he just beat Jared.
Oh, just beat Jared. Sorry, you're right. Sorry about that. So why not give him somebody like a Robert Whittaker? I mean, Robert's coming off what? I think 2 losses now. one to Chimaev, and then one to who was that right before that? I think he lost 2 in a row.
Let's see. He lost Khamzat and DeRidder. He lost to
Khamzat.
DeRidder more recently, and then Khamzat before that.
Yep. So I mean, like there's a fight to be had there. That's a big name. That's a name value. They're both getting a little bit older.
If you did Edwards in London, I mean that's a big fight, right?
Yeah, you could do it in London. Yeah, the Leon Edwards fight. I mean, you got to give it time though. Like Leon's literally coming off of a knockout and a pretty bad one to Carlos Prates just a couple weeks ago. So I'm not sure how. Yeah, I mean, if the UFC was looking to do that, I mean, Buckley is available. Joaquin Buckley.
By the way, we're basically saying all the things that Mini Adventures in the chat is saying, so he's going to be looking for his credit in a second.
Oh, Mini Adventures! He's trying to. Are you cloud chasing? Are you cloud chasing? Are you trying to take up all my stuff? Is that what you're doing, Mini Adventures? I see what it is. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at on it. The UFC is maybe trying to schedule them. Guys are kind of booked. You know, they're trying to jump into 2026 with a new TV deal, TV rights deal with fights. Everyone's probably kind of booked, but I mean, I would probably go with Robert Whittaker. Maybe you can put Whittaker versus MVP on that Australian card. What is it? Early February, I think it is. When's the Australian card? I think it's yeah, the Australian card is I think February something. Like 6th or 10th or something.
Australia.
And then there's a fight in Houston in March.
Nevada, Texas. No, there's not one. There's not an Aussie card.
There's an Aussie card. Okay.
Oh wait.
Right.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
Wait.
right
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's January 31st.
January 31st. There you go. So there's 2 cards back to back. Basically, you got Patty and Justin, and you've got Diego Lopez and Volkanovski. Throw Robert Whittaker on that card. I mean, that's a quick turnaround. Here we are, just 40 days. You know, just like what, 33 days away from that fight, end of January. Yeah, might be too late to throw that on there. I mean, I like the Joaquin Buckley. Who said Joaquin Buckley? One of the guys in the comments said Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah, Many Adventures said Edwards in London or Buckley's available.
Yeah, Buckley will fight anyone, man. He's like Mikey. Remember Mikey from Life Cereal? Mikey will eat anything. Give it to Mikey. That's like Buckley. But Buckley will eat anything. You're doing
number 10 at 85, number 10 at 70. Are you really making any forward moves at that point? I feel like you're not. I feel like you want to.
But the UFC is not going to look to make forward moves with a 38-year-old. That's the problem that you run into, I think, is it being an older fighter.
Yeah. I mean, they've given guys a chance who have ended up showing up. Like, I mean, Teixeira, who, you know, got the 205 belt at 41. They give guys chances. Like, it's, you know, they probably know it's a one-time thing, and they may get a small bump out of it. You know, they get to tell the big story about the old guy who won the gold and him chasing it all his life. Like,
there is some.
They've been trying to do it with Chandler too. They've been trying to get Chandler the belt. I mean, they're looking for any way to get Chandler the 55 title picture. They're looking for any way to get him there.
Yeah, there's just not a chance, man. It's not a chance. The guy's done, man. The guy's done. Put a fork in him. Look, I think with when you used Glover Teixeira as an example, the division was starting to have its trend going down. John Jones had just left. You know, they were having issues with John, and then on top of that, you had you had guys that were weren't as active. You had Santos, you had Derek Reyes, like you had fighters that just weren't as active as they are now in the 205-pound division. And it's ultimately like that was the downturn, is it started getting to become really weak. The division started to become really weak. And so Glover was willing to fight and make himself and put himself out there. But all those guys were starting to get a little bit older, and the ones that were younger, they weren't fighting as often. So guys like Glover, guys like Blachowicz, guys like who else was in there? There was a couple other guys. Oh, Santos. Those guys were all older at the time when they were at the top. Go ahead.
No, I'm just trying to pull up the rankings from that period just to kind of get an idea of who was ranked at 205. So 205, then you had Glover's number 1, Jan was the champ, Yuri was number 2, Rakic number 3, Anthony Smith number 4. Santos number 5, Dominic Reyes number 6. All basically all the guys John had gone through.
Yeah, so Santos, go ahead. So who was that? Santos. Yeah, so Santos, Smith, and Glover and Jan Blachowicz, all older guys. So those 4 guys are in your top 5 right there. They're all older guys. Reyes, after he lost to John Jones, pretty much he just didn't fight for a while. And then when he did fight, he got knocked out pretty bad. And then you had guys that were in that mix, like Ankalaev was 7, Ozdemir was number 8, Krylov was 9, Johnny Walker was 10. Like the mix was good, but 5 of them or 4 of them, they were almost in their 40s already. And the miles, even though that Anthony Smith wasn't probably 40 or he's 4 or 5 years away from being 40, 36, 30, 30, 35, 36. Anthony has so many miles on him. That guy has like 60 fights, 50 or 60 fights. And I remember he fought in Bellator, he fought in Strikeforce. I mean, he'd been fighting for a long, long time, and he had a lot of fights, a ton of fights. So guys like Santos and Glover and Blachowicz and those guys, I mean, they were kind of holding up that division, but they were older. And so when I look at guys like Anderson, or not Anderson, but MVP right now, I think to myself, he's older. He's 38 years old, and he might even be 39. At that age, the UFC's like, okay, who can
38.
we get? Yeah, he's 38. When's he turn 39?
April 7th.
Coming up. He'll be 39.
Mm-hmm.
Who can we give him? He's only got 3 losses. And he's a fun prospect. He's just fun. He's got a whole country behind him. He's a fun prospect. I like the Leon Edwards thing, but man, I think he beats Leon.
Do you think it's wise that he wants to go down to 70 when Islam? I think it's not totally fair to say that no one beats Islam, but I think it's also fair to say nobody looks like they're going to beat Islam, right? But do you think it's smart to say that I want to go down to 70 right now when I know that my window for the title's smaller? I guess Khamzat's a 185 champ right now, so it's tough either way. But it's 70 or 85 right now. Like where can he find that path to the title?
He's not gonna. I don't think he'll find a path to the title. I mean, like if anything, I think it'd probably be more in the 85-pound division. It's predominantly all strikers. And he'll have success against those guys. Like guys like Brendan Allen, even though he's coming off a good win over DeRitter, he still makes a lot of mistakes. Anthony Hernandez, he's very hittable. He's someone that just walks forward, throws punches and bunches, but he doesn't have the speed, I think, to deal with MVP if he keeps it on the feet. He'd have to get the fight to the ground. The same thing with Brendan Allen. But both of them are very hittable, but I also believe both of them could beat him if they get him to the ground. They both could submit him. So Sean Strickland makes for a fun fight only because Sean's going to walk forward with his little like limp leg, like teep kick, and then like his jab. But I mean, can he put enough pressure on MVP, to start to slow him down and make him crack? It'd have to be a 5-round fight for that to happen. If not, I would probably take MVP over Sean Strickland because Sean's probably not going to wrestle him. And the style of which MVP fights, you could probably outstrike him. You get to Nasruddin Imavov, though. Imavov can wrestle a little bit. He's got good striking. That's a tough fight for him. The DDP fight, I think he just mauls. I think DDP just mauls MVP. He's able to just get his hands on him, take him down, and control him and dominate him from there. Very much how I feel maybe with Nasruddin Imavov if he does wrestle him.
Supposed to Shmaev
just walks through him.
Sports Descent says Izzy and MVP, which actually doesn't sound terrible.
Who?
Sports Descent in the chat here says Izzy versus MVP.
To be honest, I love that fight. But do you run into a same fight? Because Izzy said, not Izzy, but MVP said the same thing when I had hit him up about, hey, well, I want to watch you and Stephen Thompson fight. He's like, no, you don't. He's like, that's gonna be one of the boringest fights you could ever put together. He's like, just stylistically, it's just ends up being a boring fight. He's like, neither one of us are going to really leave ourselves out of or put ourselves in danger. And both of us are counter strikers. So what are you going to do? He's like, we end up just like, well, one is you have to pull the trigger. He's like, yeah, but there's too much on the line. Both of us have the same style. And so I look at Izzy. Izzy is tall, long, lanky. It can match him in terms of, that style. But they're so similar that it ends up being probably a snooze fest. Who's going to wrestle first is really what it's going to come down to in that fight. It broke my heart to hear Izzy say that because I wanted to see Izzy and Stephen Thompson. But see, then when people say, what about him and Izzy and MVP? I think it'd be one of those type of fights. I think it'd be exactly like one of those type of. So, hey, leave a comment down below who you think Izzy or not Izzy, but MVP should fight. Should he go back down to welterweight? Because if I'm looking at the welterweight division, You got guys there. What about, and I said the same thing about Ian Gary Machado. It ended up being like an Izzy MVP fight. But I mean, I know that they fought. It just was one of those fights, though, that, okay, well, what about a Michael Morales? What about a Carlos Pratis? I mean, what if we give him someone like a Sean Brady? Sean Brady's got to get a win, man. He got to put himself back into that position. So, I mean, there's fights to be had there. Fights to be had there. What else you got for me there?
All right. The next story here. Here, let me just share the screen real quick because I don't know these guys' names. I know Andrei Arlovski, obviously, but
how do you not know Jack Doherty? I don't know him either, but I just know that he ran into Andrei Arlovski and there was a big beef at the Jake Paul fight.
Yeah, of course I saw the video.
Yeah, this is your boy though, right? This is like your era of friends.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So anyway, he's saying that he's basically kind of alluding to the idea that his bodyguard would fight Arlovski.
Yeah, he would probably fight him. I think Jack could have to pay him a lot of money. But I mean, I had this conversation with DC on the interview. I said, like, man, what do you think? He's like, bro, this guy has no chance. His bodyguard has no chance. He's got a puncher's chance. So what I'm saying is he's got a chance. Like in my Jim Carrey voice, he's got a chance. So you're saying I've got a chance. That's it though. I just love how Jack is the one that was involved in this altercation. And he hid behind his bodyguard, and he's like, yeah, I'll have my bodyguard fight you. Hey, Jack, why don't you want to fight? Why don't you and your 3 leprechaun friends, the one little midgets that were running around with you, why don't you guys want to fight? Why don't you guys want a 3-on-1? I bet you anything Andrei would fucking smash all 3 of you guys together. I know it wouldn't happen. I'm in that realm right now of like I get scared for the guys that do this streaming stuff. Because they're going to run into somebody that's not messing around because someone's going to pull a gun on them and shoot them or kill them, and then it's not a good feeling to know that people are out here doing things like this. There's a lot of other ways I think that we can make some changes to the streaming service, but a lot of it is picking on people. And in this day and age, you don't know who the hell you're picking on. That's what drives me crazy. Like, you don't know. I mean, like if you ran into Mikey Musumeci, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to whoop this dude's ass. And Mikey just going to just tear your legs right off. Mikey just smash you. And if he wanted to, he'd probably mount you and he for sure would mount you. But he could just slap you around, stick his finger in your nose, I mean, and then just like feed it to you. Like he could do whatever the hell he wanted to do to you. And it baffles me that guys like this don't run around. I don't care if you got a security guard, man. Mike Musumeci would take your fucking security guard down and whoop his ass. Like, whoop his ass. Look at what happened with Demetrius Johnson. I think he was in the finals. He ended up winning the absolute tournament. I think it was when he was a brown belt. There's a video of him going against another brown belt who was trained. And the guy was probably 265 pounds, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Mikey Musumeci is better than Demetrius Johnson on the ground. Mikey Musumeci would get this guy to the ground, his bodyguard, and smash him, destroy him, take his arm home, maybe a leg, take his neck. I mean, he'd put him to sleep. It didn't matter. It wouldn't matter. Mikey would be able to destroy his bodyguard too. And Andrei, I mean, on the feet, this would end up being a boxing match, I believe, is what they were talking about. But this is one of those, I can't wrap my head around. Why are you convincing your bodyguard to do this fight? For clicks? To watch your bodyguard be beat up? Your bodyguard gets smoked. He gets smoked. And I saw his bodyguard was smoking a cigar. First off, smoking a cigar. I mean, this guy's not Carlos Pratis, but he's smoking a cigar. And he's like, yeah, my bodyguard will fight him. He's like, right? You're going to fight him? And he's like, yeah. Like, what? Mm-hmm. What? He doesn't even realize what he's signing. I think he does realize, but I think he knows it's probably just talk right now. But this Jack Doherty thing is hilarious because he didn't realize who Andrei was. Apparently, he didn't realize who he was, but he sure has attached his name to him right now. So he's doing a lot. He's doing as much as he possibly can to get some content out of it. And I'm just glad no one got hurt that first time. I mean, his buddy, one of the little leprechauns, he got flung to the ground and soccer kicked to the head. But the other one kept trying to cheap shot Andrei every time Andrei had his back turned, and nothing ever happened. But one of these days, man, something bad's gonna happen. I was telling the story about the Mexican 15-year-old influencer got drunk one night, started mouthing off on his live chat about, cartels and this and that. And I guess he said something to the wrong person, and somebody saw the live video, and next thing you know, they found him with his throat slit and his tongue pulled through it. So you got to be careful, man. Got to be very careful. These guys they're getting a little too big for their britches. And one day someone's going to find them. I saw some videos of these younger kids. I say younger. They're probably about the same age as Jack, or maybe a little bit older. They rushed out and saw Jack at the gas station without his bodyguard, and they rushed him. Like, but they didn't do anything. Oh, where you at now, huh? You tough guy, huh? Where's your bodyguard? And all of a sudden, he clammed up. He rushed, put his gas thing away. Probably didn't even finish getting gas. Put the handle back, got in his Lambo, and just pulled off. He's like, man, I bet you he must have been sweating his fucking nuts off, going, shit, what the hell do I do now? Like, there was 2 or 3 of them. I mean, that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna get caught, sleeping like that. He's gonna get slept, is what's gonna happen. Someone's gonna find him, and they're gonna catch him. I mean, it'd be I wouldn't be surprised if one day someone just goes, hey, because he's always streaming, hey, show me where he's at. You guys just ping me on my social media when you find him, and I'll just show up there. And one day someone's gonna do that. They're just gonna show up, and they're gonna find him and smack him around. I've seen the video of him like walking through a mall, and he just like with his arms out wide, making little weird noises, and he hit some dude with his arm, and it was like, what are you gonna do? And then his bodyguard and the guy stepped to him a little bit, and the bodyguard steps in. Hey, man. I mean, that's kind of it. One day that bodyguard, maybe that guy is gonna be with 2 or 3 other friends. That bodyguard don't see. And the bodyguard gonna get slept too. So it's and not that these bodyguards, they don't, just because they're big, a lot of them are not they're not trained. They're not trained to take on 3, 4 guys. They're not trained to handle guys that have, better training. They're not trained. So I don't know, man. I don't know how they're going to handle all that, but we'll have to figure it all out. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, it's going to take someone to get hurt, for this to happen. What else you got for me, Dave?
All right, next one here. We probably should have gone to this one actually. Real quick though, Degenerate Combat Sports podcast says UFC should book Aaron Pico versus Kevin Vallejos. Do you have any comments on
that? I think that's a fantastic fight. That's a great fight. I believe Kevin Vallejos is now ranked number 15 or something like that. I think he made it into the rankings after his last performance. I think it's a great fight. Heavy
13.
hitter. Is he 15?
13.
Oh, 13. Wow. Good for him, man. Good for him. I love watching him fight. He's got, he had that great fight in the Dana White Contender Series with Jean Silva. Came up short, went out, got a couple wins, came back. You think he's what? Now you think he's 2 or 3-0 in the UFC, I believe. He's got some good wins. I mean, good for him. The Pico fight and him would be a great fight. So I'll sign me up. I'll take that fight. Not me specifically, but take that fight. I'll let Aaron take the fight. But that's a good fight to have. I like that fight. Great job, Degenerate Combat Sports Podcast.
All right, let's look at this next one here. Khamzat saying 1 title defense and then 205. He's coming for it. Everybody wants a double gold.
Yeah, I know. Look, everyone wants a double gold, but look, I've said this. It's easier to do it 85 to 205, and then even up to heavyweight. I would not be surprised, to be honest, if he's the first guy to go 3 champs.
You think so?
I mean, his body style and his tall, long, lanky. He's gonna have to put some weight on. He doesn't seem like he has a hard time putting weight on after he missed weight at 170 by 11 pounds or 9 pounds or something. But he'll never make it down to 70. It's just too much of a weight cut for him. He made it the one time, then tried to make it again, couldn't make it. But 185 pounds, he looks good. 205. Can you pull up the rankings on the 205?
Yep.
205 pound rankings, they're all strikers. So all of those guys he can beat. I think he can beat them all. His style of wrestling, he shoots low-level ankles, takedowns. So you put him against those guys. Carlos Ulberg, top 3, takedown, dominates top position, probably subs him. Magomed Ankalaev, I think he takes him down. Yuri Prohaska for sure takes him down. Jan Blachowicz for sure takes him down. Mirzakhanov, I mean, it depends. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he'd have to fight him. I think if Chimaev decides to go up, he's only going to deal with the top 4 or 5 guys. Anybody below that, Jamal Hill, Ozdemir, Dominic Reyes, Guskov, Bogdan, Rakic, all those guys are all strikers. There's no wrestlers in that weight class. None. Ankalaev is the best wrestler. He don't wrestle. So he could win that title first, second fight. It depends on what they want to do with him. I'm sure because he's Chimaev, they would just have him go right to the title shot. He'll get 1 win. I don't know who he's going to be against his next fight. He'll get 1 win. UFC might want to hold him back for 1 more fight. I think his 1 fight in 2026 will be against Imavov. And then they may end up giving him probably Sean Strickland as like a see you later fight to the 205-pound division. Because Sean's got the biggest name in that whole division. Sean and Izzy. Drickus is there too, but the way he dominated Drickus ain't making a comeback from that. That killed his whole brand. The way he lost, the way he got dominated, he didn't do anything for 25 minutes. So, I mean, I like Drickus as a fighter. I'm excited about him when he fights. There's just, you can't come back from that type of thing. Like, he hurt his brand. Everyone's like, oh, bro, you got destroyed. So in that situation, it's going to be Imavov is going to be fighting him next, unless Fluffy Hernandez does something remarkable in his next fight. I could see him or maybe Brennan Allen, one of those guys, possibly jumping Sean Strickland. But Sean's got to get a win. He'll get the win, and then I think because they've trained together, because they are, they've had, there's been comments back and forth about, oh yeah, I used to smash you in training, and Sean's like, I'm the only guy that can beat him. They're already kind of setting that up. So it'll be Imavov next, and then I think it'll be Sean Strickland or the Brennan Allen or Hernandez, depending on how these guys do in their next fights. So that's the thing. And at 205, none of those guys beat him. None of them. None of them can wrestle. Not at the level of Chimaev. So that to me is an easy title. Pull up the heavyweight division. Let's talk heavyweights too. Chimaev could be the one that wins the first, third title. Yeah. I mean, you've got Tom Aspinall, who I think is a threat when it comes to the grappling, the striking, probably a little bit of a threat. Don't get me wrong, this is going to be very difficult for him to get the third title because the physical size. But I think once he gets to 205, you'll realize he's walking around 230 once he gets to 205. And then 230, he just got to put on, like, when he gets to 230, he wins the title at 205. All he's got to do is put on like another 5 pounds, 235 of muscle. And then how's his cardio? I guess we're going to find that out. But those guys they're all, except for Curtis Blades, they're all wrestlers. All of them. I mean, sorry, they're all strikers. Sergey Pavlovich, he's got a little bit of grappling. He trained at AK for a couple of years. He's got some like sambo foot sweeps kind of takedowns, but he's not a straight double leg wrestler. I've seen him getting taken down multiple times. When he got taken down by Kane, got taken down by DC. I mean, I know these guys can wrestle, but Chimaev can wrestle. So Cyril Gane can't stop his takedowns. Volkov can't stop his takedowns. Sergey Pavlovich probably can't stop his takedowns. Curtis might have a chance. The one that it kind of interests me a little bit is the Jailton Almeida, because Jailton Almeida can wrestle, and he's got good submissions, and he's physically strong, explosive, all of those things. So that fight is kind of interesting to me, the Jailton Almeida, and but he just hasn't lived up to the hype. He hasn't lived up to like what I think a lot of us thought he would do. I thought he would come in and just dominate in the heavyweight division. So, but I mean, I look at it. Could it be? Because I remember a year and a half ago, Dave, I was like, I haven't seen a big enough sample size on Chimaev, and here I am saying that he might be the first guy to win 3 titles. Yeah, like that. That's how quick this sport changes. Is that the divisions have gotten weaker in the 205 and the heavyweight division, and Chimaev has that style of wrestling, that style of fighting to make a 3 title run. So it's very interesting. I'm looking forward to, I keep saying I'm looking forward to it, but I really believe that this is something that can be done. Not next year, but probably I'd say by 2027. We could see by the end of 2027, we could see if Chimaev is active. We had Dean Thomas on. And what did Dean say? Man, Chimaev being the champion could be a freaking nightmare. And he just won the title, and he's now basically out until after Ramadan, and probably like a month after Ramadan. They're saying that he might fight, April or May. So if that's the case, then he probably maybe will only get one fight in this year, maybe two. You might be able to squeeze two in. So he fights the one fight. Then you're saying I think he fights two more fights in the 185 pound division. I don't think they let him leave without fighting Sean Strickland unless Sean Strickland completely lays a fucking goose egg in his next fight. And they're just like, I can't do anything with this. I can't sell this. Then I can see them maybe bumping him up, but I think that's where we're at right now. So in the heavyweight division, let's talk. I mean, I honestly believe he has a good chance of winning the heavyweight title if he gets there. He gets there. All right, let's talk about Izzy. Izzy's talking about he's not looking forward to. Do you want to read his comment there, Dave? Try to speak English. Not Scottish. Try to speak English.
So Izzy's comment here is, for me, it's not about belts anymore. I just want to fight. I just want to do things like I did on the way to the belt. I still fought really well when I was defending the belt, but I want to fight more freely. I want to try some risky shit like I used to. Yeah, not interested in the title anymore.
No, I think there's interest in the title, but it's just more of like, hey, I've got to get some wins first before we start talking about that. Let me go out there and have fun. He's at a stage in his career where, he defended the title multiple times. He's put on great fights. He's sold out arenas. He's done his part. And right now, this is towards the end of his career. I think he sees the writing on the wall. His style, from kickboxing style to MMA style you take a lot of shots. There was a video going around of him, drilling a move with his coach, and his coach accidentally hit him, and he got his knees wobbled a little bit. And I'm like, all right, well, your chin only lasts so long. You can ask Chuck Liddell. Even mine was fucking on its way out. My last fight, I lost by knockout. A headbutt did it first, but it's still, if that would have happened to me when I was in my 20s, there's no way I would have just walked right through it. I ate it up. Would have ate it up, man. This shit don't happen when you get older. He's 38 years old, right? I think Izzy's 38 years old. It's just come time where at 38 years old, being a former kickboxer, glory champion, all this other stuff, right? And MMA world champion, UFC champion, all these things. 38? 36. So he's got maybe another year and a half. And I'm not trying to knock on him. I'm not. In no way am I just ultimately his style does not allow to have a long career. He's a stand-up guy who he actually avoids a lot of shots more so than a lot of other guys. But he still is a kickboxer, and those guys have taken a lot of shots throughout their career from kickboxing in glory kickboxing to fighting kickboxing or fighting MMA. You still take big shots. So it's a very tough fight. Very, very tough style to continue to carry on throughout your career, especially at that age. So good on him, man. Good on him. I think I'm excited for him to display all the techniques that we've seen him display. And I understand what he's going through. You hit that age and you're like, look, the title is there, but let's just put 1, 2, 3 wins together. And then we'll maybe revisit the whole title thing. But to actually say it out loud in an interview and then tell yourself, let's just go out there and have fun. That's going to make a huge difference on how he fights. And I think it's going to be a huge difference for the fans too that are watching at home. Because once you lose the title, you're thinking all I got to do is just keep it safe. Got to just, get myself back to the run and title run and one win and I'm right back in it. That's not how he got to the title. And that's what I think he's saying is look, I used to fight so free. I wasn't concerned about getting clipped. I wasn't concerned about, getting knocked out. I wasn't concerned about being taken down. He fought so much more free. And that's what makes him such an exciting fighter to watch. And so I really enjoy watching him fight. I'm excited to hear him say that because maybe we'll get the best out of him, get the old Izzy back. And sometimes people do it and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they get in there and they freeze up a little bit. They don't want to take those chances of potentially getting knocked out. So we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. But I am excited for him.
So shout out to Degenerate Combat Sports Podcast, became a member today. So
shout out, my man. Thank you for becoming a member, man. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to release some more interviews throughout January and February. Possibly like more flying to people and trying to do them in person. I really enjoyed the one I did with DC. I love the ones that I did with Habib and Islam and Javier and and so on and Ali. So I like that personal connection of being there. The one with DC just felt like because it was holiday, it was nice to see my brother. I hadn't seen him in like 5-6 years, maybe even longer in person. It just felt good. I felt like the hour wasn't long enough. I needed more time, but he was headed off to co-coach. He's got a new fight team that started up out there in Gilroy, and he needed to practice. They were wrapping up practice at the end, so yeah, it was good to catch up. So make sure you guys become a member because those things, when we end up doing interviews, we'll be dropping them and it'll be available to the members first, probably for a good 24 hours. So you guys can get to it. And I just want to thank you guys, man. And like I said, we sent off some packages of LMNT to some lucky members over the holiday season. I'm going to do it again here coming up. We've got packages of LMNT. I also want to try to get out some cans to you guys as well. They have some new products in the cans. They have a smaller can version as well. So make sure you guys become a member. And thank you guys so much for continuing to support the pod. I know Big John left, but you guys have kind of rallied around me. And I really appreciate that, man. It's been fun. It's been great. And hopefully I can keep delivering for you guys and looking forward to it, man. What else?
All right, we got this question we can wrap up on then from Lazybed. Danny Sabatello vying for RIZING bantamweight title tonight.
Yeah.
By the way, I just skilled and I cannot find the card anywhere, so I don't know why it's so hard to find, but I cannot find the card.
It's not tonight. It's tomorrow night.
So yeah, tomorrow night. Well, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow there already.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah. So, but it won't happen until like tomorrow. It won't happen until tomorrow.
Sounds like I think Lazybed said earlier that he's getting ready to watch it just now.
Oh, really?
I think so. I could be wrong.
Okay. Lazybed. Answer us, man. So is it right now? Is it about to go down right now?
I'm trying. Here's the thing, man. Is their stuff is hard to find. It's not easy. So is this isn't the?
Yeah, that's 2030 right there. Oh no.
Oh, there you go.
So you have no. So they do a 2-night event. So they do 2030 and they do one on 2031.
Okay.
So yeah. I mean, unless the flyer adjusted for the day change, I doubt it. I don't know if it did though. Huh.
Watching RIZING TV. Well, it does say Eastern time, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. So it actually looks like it is tonight for us in the US. Opening ceremony, blah, blah, blah. The biggest fight of the year. For Tuesday, 12:30, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern.
Wow.
Watch worldwide and RIZING TV. So I think it's tonight for us. Tomorrow, it's actually happening tomorrow over there. Because
how do you watch it here? Where's it at? Is it on Amazon Prime? Where's it at?
It says watch worldwide on RIZING TV. So
okay, I don't know where. What's Lazybed? What are you watching it on?
Yeah, let's find out from him what he's watching it on.
Yeah, hey, Lazybed. I also was gonna sit down with Coker while I was there in California. He got really sick during Christmas, and so he had no voice for like at least a week. So I didn't get a chance to get that interview with him. But like I said, I want to do more of like that personal interview. I want to do more in person, knowing that I have such a good relationship with him. I feel like it hits harder when I do those interviews in person. So what an interview I'd really love to get going though is I want to get Dustin Poirier on here, but not only just on here. I'd rather just do it in person with him as well. But man, I'd love to sit him and Theo Vaughn down in the same room and have the three of us talk about basically just like fighting. I want to know Theo's side of what he sees when he sees Dustin Poirier like fighting. I just have this like in my mind. I want to just get this idea of like what's going through Theo's mind, like as somebody like that from Louisiana. Like what goes through your mind like watching somebody from Louisiana fight? Like, I don't know. It just feels like it'd be a great show back and forth. Oh, I love you too, man. Iron Sacks. I mean, that's kind of a weird name, but Iron Sacks, love you too, man. No homo. I love the fact you said no homo at the end. Made me feel good about it. So you have to order through RIZING official website. It's a bit weird. Okay. But I mean, now they have your information, like Huawei phones, and then they're never going to give it back. So hopefully you didn't sign up through your phone where they stole all your pictures and all those nudies, all the nudie pictures you have. Oh, Lazybed. Oh, but it's cheap. How much is it, Lazybed? Live on YouPorn.
It's good to give him a minute because
All
there's a small delay.
Oh, got it. All right. So look, there was a couple other things I wanted to say. I want to say Larissa Pacheco is now training with Amanda Nunes. Larissa Pacheco is the last person to beat, and I think the only person to beat Kayla Harrison. But Larissa Pacheco fought her 3 times, maybe 4. I think it was 3 times she fought her in PFL. Normally they fought in the finals. And Kayla Harrison was able to beat her up until the last time that they fought. And Kayla lost to her. But Larissa Pacheco has been there training with Amanda Nunes. Little insight, when you have trained for someone so much, you have so much knowledge. And I know that Amanda's also trained with her. But I think the two of them putting their brains together to try to figure out one person. Very smart by Amanda Nunes to do that. And also very smart for Larissa Pacheco, because what that does, that puts her kind of in the, not in the good graces of the UFC, but it puts her name out there that she's willing to go ahead and train. She's willing to fight whoever, and that she's, have a little bit of input, that they may end up trying to sign her to see if they can get her to fight in the UFC at 135 pounds if Larissa can make the weight. Not sure if she can or not, but that's another thing. The last one that we're going to wrap this up on tonight, like I said, we're light on news. But so if you guys have any questions, go ahead and hit us up. I want to say, hey man, Anderson Silva, I think it'd be awesome to see you become an LAPD, a police officer. And I know there was talk about him becoming an LAPD officer after his last fight. And that'd be great, man. I love seeing fighters. Johnny Hendricks, I believe, here in Texas, just became a police officer here. I actually, to be honest, have been kicking around myself. So I have the PD that lives in the town that I live in. They've hit me up a couple times because I train with some of the PD officers here. So that might even be something that I might try to do. I really enjoy, I really admire, I should say, police officers, especially in these type of towns. And I feel like you feel like you're giving back to your community, to the kids, to the families that live in your community. This is a great community that I live in. And I think it'd be a great experience. And so who knows, maybe kicking it around. Yeah, John said, what do you say?
Josh with the donuts in his truck with his big vest on, looking like he belongs in the 205 division.
Stacked neck, no neck with my bulletproof vest on. Just no neck, just out there. Yeah.
You know, that'd be funny because then if Angelo, he looks like he could be a cop as well, and then you guys could do like a show called like Good Cop, Bad Cop or something like that. And then...
Yeah. Angelo, this guy, he can't be a cop, but he is balding, so I guess he could. And I know he crushes some donuts. That guy, he's extra big, 6'3", 6'4", 2. I'd say he says 260. I doubt it. It's like probably 285. I'll say 280. He's at least 280. He says no. Hey guys, I want to thank you guys so much for a great show tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for sticking with us. And look, as we get some more content in, I'm going to keep dropping some shows, and I'm back home. So the audio is a little bit better. I did the best I could with the audio that we had. I was trying out the new DJI mics, and I thought they worked pretty good, man. I thought they were great. So I definitely have to get used to them. But if you guys haven't checked out the Dan Cormier interview, check it up on our YouTube channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. And guys, I want to thank you guys again, and we're out.